Hi everybody, it's Liv. Welcome back to this recovery series. This is the third video in this series. If you haven't already watched the first two, definitely recommend going and watching those first. I'll put the links to those down in the description box. If you have watched them already, welcome back. Gonna just spend a little bit of time filling you in on the progress of my injury since the last video. Just a little apology before we get started for my voice. Got a little bit of the lurgy. So yeah, sorry if I'm a bit husky. I'll do my very best to talk through everything that we need to, but this might be a little bit of a shorter one today. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'll try to keep it as succinct as possible. Okay, so the last video I took, I had just done my second physio appointment. So a lot has happened since then. I think the last video was a good month and a half ago, probably 6-7 weeks ago. So there has been quite a lot that's happened, quite a lot of progress since then. Just a little catch up for you. Lisfranc injury. I fractured the bones in my midfoot, and I also fractured some toes and they were dislocated away from the midfoot. So I had the injury just over 23 weeks ago, so the end of June, and then I had an operation then just over 21 weeks ago in the middle of July. So it's been just over 5 months since my op. So I thought this was a really good place to kind of do a little bit of an update for you all. And also as well, I've got the house free for a couple of hours. I thought this was a great time just to sit down, peace and quiet, and do the filming. I've got a few notes here because if you've watched my other two videos, you'll know that I do blab a little bit. So I've just got some notes here to try and keep me on track and make sure I cover everything that I need to cover. Okay, so in the last video, I just done my second physio session. So in the second video, the last one, I did show clips of all the physio exercises I've been given and me performing them. So you'll know already. If you've already seen the video, you'll know what I have been doing. In the meantime, I have had another physio appointment. So it was about probably about a month ago now. I went back. She just wanted to just assess how I was doing with the program she'd already given me and see if we can progress or maybe if I needed to regress slightly. So what I was doing, just to give you a brief little reminder, I was given some exercises with a resistance band. So just moving my foot inwards and outwards, and then also pointing and flexes, so pointing the toes towards me and then pointing them away. So I was given some of those to do with a resistance band. I was also given some calf raises to do. I started off on my forearm, so leaning over onto a surface. So I was doing it on the arm of my armchair. And then gradually she told me over the next couple of weeks, if I felt ready to work my way up onto my hands, and then eventually work all the way up to not needing any assistance, not needing any prop at all. So just to be doing it on my own, standing up. So I'll go into that in a minute. Last exercise I was also given was a sit to stand. So sitting on the chair and then pushing through the heels and coming up. So basically a squat. So the resistance bands exercises, absolutely fine. They were quite uncomfortable at first, but now I do them and they're pretty much absolutely fine. So I'm still doing those every day, 3 sets of 10, and they're absolutely fine. Now and again, if I've had a really busy day, I've been on my feet a lot, or I've done a little bit more than I usually would, then they might be a little bit uncomfortable, but for the most part they're absolutely fine, and definitely my range of motion has improved from doing those. Sorry, just gonna quickly wipe my nose a minute. There we go. calf raises. I'm doing them in a standing position, so I'm not having to lean over or use anything to push against to help me. I'm doing them standing, so I'll show a video, I'm not sure which side, of me doing them standing now, and they pretty much feel absolutely fine. They were so uncomfortable when I first started doing them. After that second appointment, really thought, oh my gosh, these are painful. How am I gonna do these every day, and how are these gonna get easier and more comfortable? But they did. So now I do them, and again, pretty much they feel fine. I'll feel a little twinge. I feel a little bit of, maybe a little bit of discomfort. Just a little sign that not all is right, but they're manageable. Really good. So on a scale of 1 to 10, pain wise, 1 being very low, 10 being very high, I'd probably give them about a 2 or a 3, whereas before they were probably about, right at the very beginning, probably 7, 8. So that is a massive difference already, and it hasn't even been that long. So yay. And the last exercise was the sit to stands. Now I was getting on with those really well, but after probably a couple of weeks, I was really starting to feel a lot of pain in my right knee, so the same leg as my foot injury. I've never injured my knee per se, but I've always, now and again, I've had a little niggle in it. So I'm mindful there's obviously something going on there. There's a weakness somewhere. So I pulled back on those. I stopped doing them. And now it's taken a couple of weeks, but now my knee is eventually feeling pretty much back to normal again. So yeah, I stopped doing those. I've been doing some other exercises instead. She mainly gave me the sit to stands to help me balance my sides out a little bit, because she was saying I was walking quite lopsided. I wasn't putting much weight into my injured side. So she basically just gave those to me to help me strengthen both sides equally as much as possible. So instead of doing those, I'd be doing something a little bit similar, but it's just a little bit more gentle on my knees. I'll be doing some bridges instead. So lying on the floor, knees bent, and then pushing through my heels and lifting my hips up to the sky. So that's strengthening my glutes, that's strengthening the backs of my legs, strengthening my back, and there's a lot kinder on my knee. So she didn't tell me to do that. I just decided on my own to do that. Sorry, but since leaving the sit to stands and incorporating some other exercises that are a little bit more gentle, I've been feeling a lot better, and my knee's feeling better now, because the last thing I want to do is go and injure something else. So she was fine with that. She said, oh, well done, that's really good that you're listening to your body and you pulled back, and that, yeah, so she was absolutely fine with that. So yeah, I've left the sit to stands for now. Maybe I can build them back in, but I just think it was just maybe a little bit too much for my body at the moment. And my body was saying, no, I don't like this. So yeah, and to be honest, I think it was a little bit too much pressure for my foot as well, because I was starting to feel my foot was aching a bit when I was doing them. And I know it's kind of normal at first to feel your foot aching when you're doing these exercises, but it wasn't getting better. So like with the calf raises, with the resistance bands exercises, the pain, it was uncomfortable, but the pain started to reduce over time. With the sit to stands, it didn't. So I knew, yeah, maybe this isn't right for me right now. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so moving on to my third physio appointment, which was, like I said, probably about a month ago. And she was really happy with my progress. So I showed her the calf raises, and she was really happy with that. Like I said, told her about the sit to stand. She was good with that. So she said, right, let's up the game now. We're going to add some extra exercises to your program. You're ready. Feel you're ready. You've got the strength there. So first one was, she said, try to balance as much as you can now on your recovering leg. So lifting your good leg off the floor, so that would be my left leg, and putting all your weight into the right leg and balancing on it and timing yourself and trying to balance for as long as possible. So that was like, wow, that was huge. So that, at first I was thinking, how am I going to do that? It was really, really scary. But we did a little practice. So she timed me standing on my good leg and I was able to stand on that. No problem. Doing yoga for so many years, my balance is pretty good. So that was fine. But then we did the other side and I was, wobbling all over the shop. So that was very humbling, incredibly humbling. So basically she said, whenever you can, just get on that one foot when you're brushing your teeth, when you're waiting for the kettle to boil, stand on that one leg. And that's what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. And now I'm still wobbly, but I can hold my balance now I haven't timed myself yet, but I can probably hold my balance for about 30 seconds. I'll have to time myself. I'm still wobbly. I'm not stable. I'm not still like on my good side, but I'm able to balance on that bad foot, keeping the good foot up off the floor. So that's amazing. At first, I came home and I'll show a video of me trying to balance. This, you can see I can't even hold the balance for more than probably a second without tipping over and the good foot, the left foot, coming down and touching the floor, or me having to reach out and grab the table for support. So the fact now that I can balance, sorry, I keep disappearing, I'm just wiping my nose. The fact I can balance now without any support, still a little bit wobbly, but the fact that I don't have to hold on to anything and I can keep my foot hovered is massive progress. So that's been really big. The other exercise she gave me, which was really scary, was doing a one-legged calf raise. So she basically just said to me, okay, so like with your two-legged calf raise, how we started with your forearms down on the surface, I want you to do that again, but this time you're going to lift your left foot up off the floor. So you're just going to be standing on the recovering foot and you're going to lift your heel up of that recovering foot and then lower it down. So doing a single leg calf raise. And literally my brain and my body, my brain and my foot just weren't connecting at all. I literally just froze. Like I couldn't move. Like I was thinking, that's the right word, just froze. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? It was seriously scary. That is massive. Lifting up onto the toes of that recovering foot. That just felt huge to me and I just couldn't get my brain around it. They just were not connecting. So yeah, that was a really strange moment. But she said to me, you can do it. You have the strength there. She said, what's holding you back? Like, what's stopping you? And I just said, it's definitely a psychological thing. It's huge psychological thing. My brain was literally saying, I don't know how to do this. That was what it was. It wasn't I can't do this. It was I don't know how to do this. Like, how do I even do this? That's what it was. It was really strange. I can't explain it better than that. But somehow I did do it. And I had to really, really lean over into my forearms, basically just putting all of my weight into my upper body. But I did manage to lift my heel off the floor. I don't think it was very high, but it was painful. It was quite painful, understandably. So yeah, that was interesting. And I even showed my dad and he went, oh, he really didn't like it. He really didn't like watching it. He just thought, I don't like that. But there we go. The physio said I could do it. She said I had the strength. So got to listen to the professional. She knows best. So yeah, those were my two new exercises, to add to my program. So I've got my resistance bands exercises. I've got my two-legged calf raises. I've got my balancing on one leg and now my one-legged calf raise and the sit to stands if I want to add them eventually. Otherwise, I'll be doing those bridges on the floor. So I've been doing those for the last couple of weeks and definitely noticing a improvement in my weight bearing confidence massively. I'm finding that I'm walking better. So for a long time, I was avoiding putting too much weight into my left foot and my right foot, the recovering foot, especially into the midfoot where the injury was, where the operation occurred. So I was noticing I was doing that. So now I am definitely putting a lot more weight down into the foot and feel a lot more confident doing that. Also definitely improved strength. So the calf raises show that, being able to lift up and down with no support and very little discomfort. So that shows my strength has definitely improved. Improved balance, as I've just said, my balance is definitely improving. It's a slow process, but we're getting there. Okay, going up and down the stairs is another one. Sorry, I'm just reading off my notes because otherwise I will forget to say all these little points. I'm so sorry, everybody. Also going up and down the stairs, no problem. That was really scary at first. I still hold on to the banister. I think I always will now. If you didn't already know, if you haven't watched the first video, you'll know, you won't know that my injury occurred because I fell down the stairs. So yeah, I think I will always hold the banister now. But going up and downstairs now, absolutely fine, no problem at all. It feels like a very, very long time ago now that I was shuffling up and down the stairs on my bottom, dragging my crutches with me. It feels like a lifetime ago now. It wasn't even that long ago. God, probably only 2 months ago. It's crazy. It's crazy how much has changed. Some wins. I've got back to taking showers, standing in the shower. So in the last video, I progressed to going from a shower chair, so sitting on a chair, to taking a bath, so fully submerging my leg, which was a big milestone. And then recently, probably the last month, I've been standing in the shower again, which again was really scary at first. Always very, very mindful about getting in and out, and because that, the slip risk there is massive. But I'm feeling a lot more confident now about doing that, so that's good. And also being able to do a few more yoga poses was a big win. So if you don't already know, I am a fitness instructor. I've got back to teaching a couple of my classes, my yoga and my Pilates classes. So at first I wasn't able to do as much as I would have liked to do, but I needed to get back to my business, to my customers and my classes. So I went back and I was modifying quite a lot at first. There were some things I could do, some things I couldn't, balancing being one of them. But over the last few weeks, since working on my one-legged balancing, I've been able to introduce a few more balancing poses back in, which has been really nice. I've also started doing some down dogs. At first, I was just keeping my knees down and doing a variation of down dog, but now I've been coming up. I put most of my weight, to be fair, into my good leg. So I avoid kind of tucking the toes under and putting too much weight through my recovering leg. I'm going to ask my physio about that next time I see her and just see what she has to say about it. But the fact I'm able to lift myself up into a down dog again, that just feels so good. Planks as well. I've been doing some planks, but again, same with down dog. I've been trying to keep most of my weight into my good leg. I haven't been tucking the toes under of the bad leg, but I've kind of been resting the toes down on the floor. Again, I think that's a little bit too much at the moment for my foot to tuck under and put weight into that foot at the moment. But the fact I'm able to find a plank shape, even though I've got to slightly modify, again, is a massive win. If you had told me I'd be doing down dogs and planks 3 months ago when I was in my boot, and certainly 4 or 5 months ago when I was in my cast, I would have it was just like, I couldn't have imagined that. I could not have imagined that. So yeah, that's been brilliant. Okay, going on to setbacks and unexpected challenges. So the knee pain from doing those sit to stands, but that has decreased since avoiding that exercise. Also, I was experiencing some back pain. I have had back pain on and off. Obviously, this leg is now weaker, so I'm a little bit imbalanced, but hopefully the physio will help with that. Feeling good at the moment, but it does flare up now and again. Foot pain flare up. A couple of weeks ago, I was getting very excited. Let's just put it like this. And I'm sure some of you might have experienced this as well. Progress is going well, it's going really good, and you're feeling really happy and really motivated, and you just want to get better ASAP. So you might try to do maybe a little bit more than your foot is ready for. And that's what I did. So I was doing these physio exercises and I was thinking, yes, I'm smashing this. So I was just doing a little bit more kind of exercise at home. So I was just doing some like circuit training. I was doing a little bit of strength training with some weights and some resistance bands. I was doing some more kind of lower body exercises, and my foot did start to flare up a little bit, and I was having a bit more pain than I had been having. So obviously that's not a good thing. We want the pain to be reducing, not increasing. So that did concern me. So basically I pulled right back and basically haven't really done all that much. I've been doing some gentle yoga and Pilates. And since then, the pain has decreased again. So that's a bit frustrating. Obviously, I want to be getting back to all my normal classes. I want to get back to dancing. I want to get back to all the things I used to do. Strength. I love strength training, but my foot is just not ready for it yet. So yeah, it was probably about a week and a half. My foot was really hurting when I was just walking around. It was quite sore. So since reducing the activity again, just doing my physio exercises and a little bit of gentle yoga and Pilates at home and a few little walks, it's feeling a lot better. So some advice there for you if you've done the same thing, if you've done something similar, if you were feeling really good, if progress was going really well, and then all of a sudden things started to go the other direction, then it might be just pull back a little bit. It might be you're pushing yourself just a little bit too much, and your body's saying, hold up now, I'm not sure about this at the moment, this might be a little bit too much. So if that's the case, you've got to listen to your body and pull it back, no matter how frustrating and disheartening it is. And trust me, I get it. So yeah, talk about walks. I've been out for a few walks on the canal. We live not far from a beautiful canal here in South Wales, so it's been so good to get back out again and do a couple of walks. I used to walk on there at least once a week before my injury, at least when the weather was nice, a handful of times a week. So to be able to get back on the canal again was lovely. First walk I did, I was very stiff. I'll show a video, I'm not sure which side, and I'm kind of lopsided, as you can see, walking very slow, but it was just so nice to be outside again, and with all the lovely beautiful colours, the autumnal colours. So this was about October time, and yeah, it was so lovely to be back out in nature again. And so that was a massive win, a big milestone. Since then I've been on a few more, and I've been walking, like I said, feeling a lot more confident weight bearing, and I've been walking a lot better. So that's been good. And I've been able to go slightly longer distances as well, which has been nice, with little pain. So that's been really good. Okay. Sorry. Apologies, guys. So going forward to how things are at the moment. So my foot still aches most of the time. I wouldn't say it was like really painful or anything. It's just it's just a bit sore, you know. You'll be lying in bed and you'll point the toes, or you'll move it slightly and you'll just go, oh yeah, something's not right there. But I wouldn't, it's not like a sharp pain or anything like that. It's just kind of like a dull kind of soreness. It definitely hurts more when I've been sitting down or lying down for a long period. So if I've been sitting down for a couple of hours on my laptop or watching TV, and then I get up, it feels a bit sore, but that's mostly my ankle just stiffening up. As soon as I get up and walk around or do a bit of gentle mobility for it, then it eases. So it's mostly ankle stiffness, to be honest. And if I've been walking around quite a lot, if I've been on my feet for a long time or standing still for a long time, it does start to get a bit achy then as well. So yes, but it's definitely easing. It's definitely not as bad as it was. I wouldn't have been able to stand for long periods of time a month or two ago. So the fact I'm able to stand up is massive progress. Yes, it's a little bit sore, but it's better than where it was. So there is progress, definitely. Okay, so I would say at the moment I've hit a little bit of a plateau. So that's been a bit frustrating. So like I said, I thought I was really progressing, and then my body was like, no, hold up now. So I've come back and I'm kind of there. That's where I am right now. I'm still on this little plateau. Things are progressing. Don't get me wrong, but it's slow, and it does feel sometimes like I'm kind of just like stuck still. But I'm not. It just feels like I am sometimes. It gets a little bit disheartening. And this has brought around a little bit of fear, I think. So I've been a little bit fearful of, is this how it's always going to be? I did get really, when my foot was really hurting, I was thinking, oh my gosh, is this how I'm going to feel for the rest of my life? Am I always going to have this pain? But now it's eased a little bit from reducing the activity. I'm like, no, it's not always going to be like this. I've just got to be mindful now that I can't do all the things that I used to do, which is a hard pill to swallow. It gets me down a little bit. I can't just throw myself around like I used to. Like I went away with my friends on for a weekend a couple of weekends ago, and there was a night with some live music and everybody was up dancing, and I couldn't dance. My physio hasn't given me the all clear to dance yet. So yeah, I got really sad actually, and I had to go away. I didn't tell my friends. I just said I'm going to Lou, but I literally had to go away, and I had to sit in a room, in the hotel room, for about 10 minutes just by myself and just be sad. Basically, just let myself feel those feelings. I didn't want to bring my friends down, so I just thought I'd just go away, just have a moment, just let myself be sad, and then I'll go back, and then yeah, I was all right then the rest of the evening. We did some chair dancing. Oh dear me, so sorry. Did some chair dancing. But yeah, it got me down. Got me down a little bit that day. But I just trying to keep positive that I will be able to get back to dancing. I will be able to get back to hopefully most of the things I was able to do before. I'm just gonna have to be more mindful now. That's all. And be really in tune with my body and really, really listen and respect my body. And actually, that's a really good thing. So, yeah, no, it's not all negative. Just making sure that I've covered everything. Yeah, huge progress. Like I said to my dad invited me out to go for a walk on the canal with the dog. And it was the first walk I'd been on with him in since the injury occurred. So, you know, over 5 months. And I used to go out probably once a month with him and the dog, and we'd have a catch up. And so I said to him, oh yeah, that would be really nice. I said, but warning, can't be very long because my foot gets a bit sore and I'm very slow. just a heads up. And he said, look, great. And he reminded me, he said, look, just over a month ago, you hadn't even put your foot to the floor, and now you're walking. and you're able to walk, 20, 30 minutes. That's amazing. That's huge progress. And it really did, that made me think that, because I'd be getting a little bit down and disheartened. So that reminded me, yeah, I am doing amazing. That I've hit a plateau, but the progress I've had so far has been so good. So I just got to keep reminding myself that. So that was really good of him to say that, because yeah, it's easy to forget sometimes how much progress has been made. So yeah, it's about pulling back and looking at the bigger picture. So what's tricky right now? I think I've already said, I've covered those: standing for long periods, walking long distances, certain yoga poses, so anything where I need to tuck my toes under and put a lot of pressure on my feet. Also any poses that involve my foot being extended, so flat, like in a child's pose. So in a child's pose, you bend your knees and then you sit your hips back onto your heels, with your ankle extended. So that involves the foot being flat and all your weight being on your feet. So that does get uncomfortable. Have to avoid that or if I do it, I modify it. I don't sit my hips back as far. So that's just the way it is. Okay. Next rehab goals. We're nearly there, guys. Nearly there. My next appointment is on the 19th of December. So that's in just over a week's time. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing what she has to say about my progress so far. So some goals. I'd love to be able to do a downward facing dog properly, putting weight into my recovering leg if my physio says that that's okay. I'm not quite sure at the moment. I know I can do calf raises, but that's lifting and lowering, so that's not holding the contractions. That's not holding up onto my toes the whole time. It's down dog. The toes are totally tucked under the whole time and the heels are lifted. So I'm not quite sure if that'll be too much at the moment. We'll have to talk to her about that. Also, I'd love to be able to do a tree pose. So that involves balancing on one foot, placing the other foot to the inside of that leg. So I'd love to be able to do that. At the moment, I'm trying, but I'm wobbling all over the place. So I'd love to be able to hold that still for 30 seconds. So I think it's going to be a while until I can do that, but that's a really good goal to have. And I think it is important to have goals to work towards, to keep you focused and keep you motivated as well, and keep you kind of, on the ball. Okay. Walk longer distance. Obviously, I'd love to be able to walk a little bit longer, but at this time, I'm just so grateful to be able to walk. So yeah, just be able to get outside and walk along the canal. I'm happy. It'd be lovely to walk longer, but that's not a massive one right now. Hopefully be able to add some gentle impact. I did ask her at my last appointment. I said, when will I be able to jump? When will I be able to dance? And she basically said, we don't want to run before we can walk. I want to take this nice and slow. She said maybe next appointment we'll see if we can maybe start to add some little bit of impact, but she couldn't promise anything, and that's fine. That's totally understandable. But yeah, it would be nice to be able to add a little bit of impact now and just see how my body takes to that. So we will see. So I think I've covered everything, guys. I think that is everything that I need to say. For anyone out there who is going through the same situation, I know quite a lot of you have left some comments saying that you have done the same injury, you've had a similar operation. Some of you are way back at the beginning. You've just had the op or just had the injury. Some of you are further ahead than me. We're all at different stages, but we all share this common thing, that we have suffered this pretty nasty injury, and we're going through this intense rehab. So even though Lisfranc injuries are complex and they're unique and they can be completely different and they can present differently in different people, we all have that shared common thing, that we're going through this pretty tough thing together. So thank you for letting me know about how things are going with you, updating me on your journeys. Please do update me on this video as well. I'd love to hear from you. Just a few takeaways from my experience, if they can help anybody. Number one is setbacks are to be expected and they're normal. So try not to get down on yourself. Just if you find that you've maybe overdone it and your body is saying no, just step back, ease back, and just basically just give your body what it's asking for. Super important. Something I'm really learning right now is recovery isn't linear. It's not straightforward. There's ups, there's downs, and lots of people have told me that. But I hadn't really had any downs yet. My recovery was going pretty, as I've said, was going really good. It's progressing really well. So I was like, oh, well, it's going great for me so far. So, but yeah, then I had a bit of a down. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good for me to have that though, I think, because that's part of the process. That's part of what it is. Not everything is going to go great and perfect all the time. There are going to be ups and downs. There are going to be peaks and troughs, like with anything in life. So I'm on a little bit of a down at the moment, but I'm sure things will start to go back up again soon. A massive one, I think I've already just covered it, really listen to your body. Listen to your body, so important. The small wins matter. So no matter how small progress may be, however slow it may be, it is progress. So just keep reminding yourself that. Another thing is don't compare yourself with others. So try not to compare your journey with mine. Yours might be completely different. So if you're in a completely different place than me or other people, if you're reading their stories or watching their videos, if you're not where they are, that's okay. Again, progress and recovery is not linear. It's not straightforward. Your injury is going to be different to my injury. So you might be behind, you might be ahead, you might be the same. Everybody's going to be different, so try not to compare yourself with anybody else. You're not behind. You are not behind at all. You are just where you are. And the most important thing is you're listening to your body. You're taking it nice and slow, and we don't want to re-injure ourselves. We want to look after ourselves, and if that takes a bit of time, if it takes longer than we would like, then that's just something we're just gonna have to accept and just go with, and it'll make us stronger in the long run. It might not feel like it right now, but in the long run, you'll be able to look back and think, I got through that really hard time, and I got through it. And I don't know what the future holds. I don't know how my foot's going to be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Sometimes I get in my head a bit. I start worrying. But that doesn't help anything. Worrying does not help anything. And I know it's really hard. But if you get into that space, try to just pull yourself out of it the best way that you can. And just focus on today. Just focus on what you can do today and doing the best that you can today. And just take it one day at a time. That's the most important thing. Try not to get too focused on the future, because that's just going to create anxiety, and that's not going to help anything. So that's it, everybody. I have rambled on again for almost 40 minutes. How did I do that? Oh, with a cough as well, but we did it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. I do apologise about having the lurgy, but I really wanted to get this video done. I couldn't see any other time I'd be able to get it done before the Christmas period. And I wanted to update you because there's a lot been going on. And if you've watched the last 2 of my videos, I've been super positive, and like I said, progress was going really, really well. And maybe you watched it and you felt a bit disheartened and you thought, oh, like I said, maybe you compared yourself with me and thought, oh, well, that's not where I am. What's going on wrong with me? Like what am I doing wrong? Or why isn't my recovery going that well? Well, now you know that it hasn't gone all that well. Most of that has just been me pushing too hard, pull back, and yeah, hopefully things will start to get better again. But at the moment, just plateau. But the key thing is we're not going backwards. So as long as we keep moving forwards, no matter how slow the progress is, we're not gonna risk taking ourselves back where we were before. We do not want that. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling now. I think I've said everything I need to say, but thank you all so much for watching again. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you are all doing well out there and your recovery is going okay. Please update me in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. And then yeah, so it's Christmas if you hadn't already noticed. So if you are celebrating Christmas, I hope you have a lovely one. I'll be back with you with another update probably sometime in January, February, unless there's something really pressing that I need to update you with in the meantime. But until then, thank you again for watching, and hope you have a lovely Christmas if you are celebrating. Take care, guys.